Oh yeah. What do we have here? What do we have here? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, what do we have? It's gonna be a big bass, I think. Oh my gosh. 2-pound test ultralight rod. What do we have here? Okay, well this is, oh, it's coming up. It's coming up. What is this gonna be? See, I thought I found crappie. I just caught maybe like a 14-inch bass off camera, and I don't know what this is. We're sitting in 12 to 15 foot of water. These fish are suspended down there. He doesn't want to come up. Or like he kind of starts to come up, but he doesn't want to show himself. I think it's actually going to be a big bass. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's going to, yeah, it is. It is a big bass. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. These big bass are suspended off the front of a grass edge, and that'll do. That'll do just fine. Not a giant, but a really solid fish for ultralight. And there you have it. Got a little 1/16 ounce fire red mule jig and a Mule Minnow 2.2 true chartreuse. And that's probably about a 16.5, 17-inch largemouth. Nice and fat, nice and healthy. We're gonna turn him right loose. See you, buddy. Awesome. Well, that was kind of a pleasant surprise now, wasn't it? I tell you what, I was dropping my Mule Minnow down there thinking I might have found some suspended crappie. Well, no. That was a largemouth bass, my friends. I actually caught another smaller one right before that fish, but it wasn't on camera. Either way, as you watched in my most recent video, I just got done fishing with my micro double jig rig, and I had a lot of fun doing that, but I wanted to kind of experiment, check some different areas out, and fish some different gear. And I tried the jerkbait a little bit, just a little ultralight jerkbait, caught a couple small bluegills, tried a little micro drop shot, caught some other small bluegills, but then I dropped this down there and we're getting onto some bass. So I think I'm gonna stick with this, just throw the Mule Minnow around, just see what we can catch, hopefully some bass. If I'm lucky, I can find some crappie. You know, I wanna find crappie, but I just can't seem to find them anywhere, so that is what it is. Either way, the more I ramble, the less time I have to fish, so let's get back to it. So as you can see, I'm fishing with the 13 Fishing Omen trout and panfish rod. I'm gonna do a video on it soon, but for today, I'm just gonna fish. I'm not really gonna focus on what this rod is all about. Right now that was a bluegill. Somehow I hooked him for a split second, but he came off. I'm sitting in 15 foot right now, and I've been marking several suspended fish right here. You got the main lake right here, and then it goes up into this shallow corner, and there's like a little grass edge offshore, but out in front of the grass edge, it just drops off. And I've just been noticing a bunch of suspended marks, so I figured, hey, I'm gonna drop this down there. I definitely wanna catch more fish like this. It's a very interesting way to fish. You know, you basically look at your graph, you kind of get a feel for how they're positioning, and then you're just kind of penduluming your jig through suspended marks. I keep my rod tip at an upward angle, and I just follow my line down there. I let my jig just sink through the strike zone. And if my line jumps, or if I feel a tick, I set the hook. It's that simple. I mean, this is kind of a standard way for me to catch crappie when I'm around suspended crappie. There's one. Yep, that's probably another bass. Yeah, it's not a big one, but again, this is kind of a fun way to fish. I'm basically crappie fishing for bass. I mean, these are suspended fish off of a weed line. Yeah, well, see you, buddy. And I feel like a lot of bass fishermen probably avoid fish like this, right? You know, these suspended fish like this, they can be tough in the early summer, and they might focus their efforts on, you know, the shallow grass, the docks, that sort of thing. But if you kind of get a feel, oh, I just had a short strike. That might have been a gill though. If you get a feel for how to kind of crappie fish, you can basically just crappie fish for bass too. That's what I'm learning. I think I might go try to replicate this pattern elsewhere. I'm sure there's probably a few bass still around, but I'm kind of fishing for random isolated fish, and I'm not seeing quite as many marks on the graph anymore. Now that I plucked a few out of this area, I might have spooked some of these bass. I'll make a couple more little pitches, but it doesn't really feel like this is quite as productive anymore. Got him. Ah, not a big fish, but we'll take him. There he is. Yes, sir. Made a little further cast that time. This corner right here, I'm sitting in 14 foot of water, and oh wait, is that a slab? That is a slab. That is a slab. And when I say slab, I mean slab. Oh, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Well, I'm kind of crappie fishing for bass, and then I actually got a crappie. Right at 12. 12-inch slab right there. Oh, gosh. 12-inch slab right there. Turn her loose. Oh my gosh, what am I going over right now though? I just went over a big school of something. There's one. Oh, this has got to be a crappie. This has got to be a nice crappie. Or is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Oh, it's a bass. Yeah, I figured when I saw that big school, I figured it was probably a slab. But no, it's just a little bass, little guy. It's funny, he was schooled up. There was a bunch of marks on my graph, and it looked like, honestly, panfish, but you know, small bass like to group up too. They still school too, so see you, buddy. I'm choosing to fish like a definitely slower pattern, but I like to think that the size potential is far greater doing this than going up and beating the shallows with ultralight. There's one. God, he was just carrying it. I bet this is a big sluggish bass. I bet this is a big sluggish bass. Okay, come on. Okay, this fish like doesn't even know it's hooked. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's gonna be big. I don't know what this is, but I just felt the weight of it and now it's pulling drag. This is gonna be either a big bass or it's gonna be something weird maybe. This fish, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. It's fighting strange. I feel like it's a big sluggish bass, but I don't know. My other camera just died, but my rod is just doubling over. What is this gonna be? Look at my rod right now. This is awesome. All right, well, definitely an interesting day of fishing so far. Definitely an interesting day of fishing. Oh gosh. It's not fighting like a normal bass, but it feels like one. I could be wrong though. I have no idea what this is. Look at how much it is bending that rod. Yeah, it is a bass. He wanted to stay down. And it's pretty respectable, but honestly, he's not as big as I would have expected for how hard he fought, but he just wants to stay deep. He's sluggish, man. Big sluggish bass wanting to stay on the bottom. There you have it. Again, guys, crappie fishing for bass, man. Just fishing these sluggish summer pattern bass. You can just basically cast a little crappie jig out there and just slowly present it in front of them, and they can't help themselves, man. That's a nice, healthy fish. It's really not near as big as I was expecting. He's probably only about 15.5 inches, but he's really healthy. He's really fat, and he wanted to stay down. Man, that was fun. See ya, buddy. Whew. You know, I've only got a little bit of time left, but man, we're catching the right kind of fish. So when I make these longer casts, you notice in my retrieve that the first thing that I do is I just let it kind of pendulum down to the bottom, and I'm just waiting for my line to tick. But if I don't get a bit on the initial fall, then I twitch it up a bunch of times. Now, it's not necessarily because I want to give it action. It's more so just to get it back up in the water column. My main focus is the drop. It's the pendulum. And that's been where I'm getting all my bites. It's either once that bait just kind of settles in close to the bottom, if the fish is bottom oriented, or it is right along on the fall. So it's penduluming down, all of a sudden my line ticks, bam, set the hook. None of these fish are super active. Oh man, one was carrying it. I don't know what that was. That could have been a bluegill just dinking with me, but none of these fish are surface oriented chasing. None of these fish are like on the bottom, like eating crawfish and that sort of thing. They're all somewhere in between, and they're all pretty lethargic, I believe. And that's where that little pendulum, just drop that jig in front of them, let it swing right in front of them. That is what is going to make them react. There's one. Yes, sir. There's one. I don't think this is a very big fish, but it's putting up a nice little fight. What's this gonna be? A little bass? Whoa, a little bass. Oh, there's one following it. Yeah, like I said, they can school up. There was another one behind it. Looked a little bigger than this one. But, oh well. I'll catch the dink. You guys know I like my dinks. My fish finder is dying, so I will take that as a sign that I need to go home. Honestly, I didn't light the world on fire as far as quantity goes, but I caught some of the right quality. I wish I would have caught more crappie, but I'll take the 12-incher that I got. Either way, I hope that you learned a thing or two. I certainly did. You know, these suspended, inactive, sluggish fish are kind of hard to catch, but I think if you just have the right approach, you fish that light line, and you use that pendulum method, I think you can honestly catch quite a few fish. And if I had more time, I'm nothing but confident I would keep catching them. Either way, I hope you have a great day. We'll catch you next time.